Yeah, you're sitting down. That was the hardest yoga pose so far, getting up off the floor. All right, so let's start with some cat and cow standing. So feet are hip width distance apart, maybe a little closer, whatever's comfortable. Hands on the front of the legs. Dip the chin, tuck the tailbone. This is our exhale. On the inhale, rounding up, looking up. This is our cow. And then exhale back to cat. So back and forth between these two. Just moving nice and slow and gentle. Excellent. All right. And then let's come to neutral. And we're going to do our laterals. So feet can be a little wider. We're doing our center of gravity is showing a little bit more of a stable base here. And then you can have that one hand on the hip. We're going to inhale this other arm up. So start kind of just and then exhale back, and then the other side. And as you keep going, maybe you go a little further, and maybe you don't, and that's okay either way. But as this hand is up, push that opposite foot down. See if you can feel the stretch all the way down that whole side body. But being gentle at the same time. So as humans, we don't do laterals as much as twists, but the laterals are important mainly for your breathing capacity, to have those intercostal muscles be more resilient. Excellent. Okay, we're going to do one more time each side. So we're going to do an IT band stretch in a little bit, but when we're doing this one, so we've got the stretch from the fingertips probably down into that iliac, the upper part of the back of the pelvis, that hip bone up there. So then when we're doing the IT band stretch, we're going from there down. So if you're doing those IT band stretches at home, warm up with that lateral first, so you get both ends of the whole body stretch. All right, twist is next. So arms can be out at the side, whatever you like. We're going to use the breath. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to turn to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Or you can just swing back and forth gently, whichever way you prefer. Excellent. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. Excellent. And then release. All right, at any point, if you want to shake anything out, muscles get a little tight or sore, give it a shake. All right, so we're going to do a very slow and gentle half sun salutation here. And then we'll do, actually I changed my mind. We're going to do the half moon first and then the half sun. All right, so half moon is a lateral stretch. The half sun is a spinal counterbalance. All right, so we've got our little ball. Now bring it up. And then on the exhale, go to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, back to center. We're going to go back to the first side. Drop that arm if you want. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, second side. Drop that arm down. Inhale, bring it up. One more time each side. Noticing that where you're reaching with the stretch on the bent side. Nice. And then we're just going to release it. We're going to skip the little back bend since we're early on in class. All right, let's do our half sun salutation. Since we're still in the warming up stage and the AC is on full blast, which I'm enjoying, muscles might not be ready to go super hard. So keep the knees nice and bent. All right, so here we go. So let's do it like this, hands at the heart. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. You can do the arms out to the side, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on the front of the legs. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees nice and deep, arms out to the side. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, nice and deep, arms out to the side. Pushing the feet in, inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Awesome. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, soften the knees as you come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, nice and deep, arms out to the side. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice. All right, so we're going to do squat folds. And I'm just going to borrow this chair here for a second. If you have a chair and you want to use a chair, just show you what that looks like. So we're going to come up and then exhale. You can come hands to the chair. You can keep the knees bent. Inhale, come back up. And then we're going to exhale and squat. So you can hold on to the chair and also use the top of the chair. Bending, inhale, and then squat. So trying to keep the heels down may be hard to do. So if you come up, that's fine. Put your chair back. All right, so that's an option. For anybody at home who wants to do that, I think you guys are okay with that. If you have tight hamstrings, don't overdo it. And if you have knee issues, be gentle on your knees for the squat part. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. So we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're hinging at that hip joint. Fold forward, keeping the knees nice and soft, just as far as is comfortable. And then we're going to inhale, come back up. And then exhale, squat. So you may want to turn the feet out. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, up. Nice and slow, be gentle. Exhale, fold forward, soften the knees. Inhale, up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, up. And then let's do one more round. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale, squat. Excellent. Inhale, bring it up. Bring the arms up and then release. Nice. All right. Still with me? Nobody ran out the door? All right. We'll do that IT band now. And then at the end of class, we'll do crescent pose. And that's another lengthening of that whole side body. Okay. So let's do this. We're going to take one foot. That foot stays where it is. We're gonna take the other foot, cross it in front. And then again, we're hinging at the hips. If you need a chair for stability, that's fine. If this is as far as you're going, that's fine too. So inhale nice and tall, and then exhale, hinge at those hip joints, and the arms can come wherever, and you can hold on to the legs if you want as you come down. And you can bend, have a little softness in that back knee. And that back leg is actually the one that you're stretching more. So just be mindful of that knee. When you're ready to come up, see if you can bend the knees a little bit more, and then coming up with a straight spine. Excellent. All right, uncross, shake it out. Let's go to the other side. Cross in front. We're hinging at those hip joints. Inhale nice and tall, and then exhale, fold forward. One side may be super tight compared to the other. And again, you can bend that knee as much or as little as you need. Excellent. And then to come up, bring your hands to the hips, push the feet down, inhale as you come up with a straight spine. Excellent. Uncross, shake it out. And then let's do, we're going to do our warrior one to give those knees some love to start. Okay, so both feet are pointed towards the top of the mat. We're going to turn one foot to the side and then step that first foot forward. So it doesn't have to be a far distance because we're just working with the knee at the moment. First thing, let's lift those toes up, spread them out, and then set them back down. And then if you want, you can look down at that foot and check to see if you're going in the right direction. So we want to aim for that second and third toe. This is our exhale to bend, inhale to straighten. If that back calf is tight, bend that back leg. So just nice and smooth and slow. This is going to help strengthen the quad muscle, which protects the knee, and it also gives that knee movement in a slow manner that'll help later on. All right, so let's finish this side so you can step back or step forward. And then we're going to turn that foot out, step that second foot forward. Same thing with the toes here. We're going to lift them up, spread them out, set them back down. And if you want to, at first, check to make sure you're hitting that second and third toe in that little groove like that. So if we're going in or out, we're getting into ligaments behind the knee that are not designed to go like that. So we want to keep it nice and smooth and in that groove. And then once you feel like you've got it, look up just a little bit, a couple feet in front of you or towards the horizon. If we're looking up towards the ceiling, we're getting into pinching nerves and stuff in the neck. So we want to keep the head level. Excellent. Okay, push off, step back, or step that back foot forward. And then let's do some arms with this. Let's do cactus arms for today. So we're going to turn that foot out, step that first foot forward again. And then here we go. So we're going to inhale, bending the elbows, bend that front knee. Exhale back. Excellent. One more. Next, we'll switch sides. And same arms, inhale, cactus arms, bend that front knee, exhale back. Excellent. And last one. Nice. All right, step the feet back together. So we're gonna do warrior two, pyramid, and triangle. So these are all mostly lower body strengthening. And then we've got twists and turns in the upper body. So let's start with warrior two. Oh, and at the end, we'll throw on a high lunge. Okay, so let's do warrior two first. Stepping 1 foot forward. That back foot is kind of at 45 degrees-ish. Bend that front knee over that front ankle. Hands at the heart, arms open out to the side. Gaze is over those front fingers. And then we're going to extend the fingers out and soften the shoulders. See if they need any adjusting. Excellent. All right, we're going to go forward first. So bend that front elbow. Forearm comes to that front thigh. This backhand can be on the hip or hand up towards the ceiling. Or you could do the arm over the ear. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale and windmill around to peaceful warrior. You can check that front knee again. Maybe come up a little straight so you can bend that a little deeper again. And then let's go back to warrior, side angle pose. Inhale, warrior, peaceful warrior. Nice. One more time through. Side angle pose. And inhale, peaceful warrior. Excellent. Back to warrior two. Drop the arms, step the feet together, go to the other side. Hands at the heart, arms open out to the side. That front knee is over the ankle. Soften the shoulders, extend the fingers. And then bend that front elbow, side angle pose. This backhand can go on the hip, hand up towards the ceiling, or that arm overhead. Inhale and windmill around to peaceful warrior. Exhale back to side angle pose. Again, peaceful warrior. And one more time through. Side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And back to warrior two. Nice. Drop the arms. Step feet back together. Shake it out. All right, so we're gonna do triangle pose. If you want to block. If you have a blanket or a towel and you want to do it with that, I'll just show you. That's about block height. Or if you want a chair, any of those are fine. If you don't need it, that's fine too. So we're going to step 1 foot forward, similar feet to warrior two. But this time the idea is that that front knee stays straight-ish. All right. So hands together at the heart, extend out, extend forward with that front arm, leaning forward, and then we're gonna lock the arms and then tick-tock them. So if you're reaching your knee, don't push on your knee. If you're reaching your shin, that's fine. If you're coming all the way down to the floor, just make sure you're not collapsing down. You wanna keep that upper shoulder in line with that shoulder. You can bend that front knee if you need to, any amount. When you're ready to come out, we're going to grab that invisible rope, pulling back up. And then drop the arms, bend that front knee, and step the feet back together. All right, and then the other side. And you might notice that one side's more open than the other. We have asymmetrical habits, and that's totally fine. Arms out to the side. And extend forward with that front hand. Lock the arms, and then tic-tac. Wherever you're reaching, just make sure you're not pushing on the knee. You can be down lower. Just want to make sure you're not collapsing forward to reach down. Come back up if that's happening for you. We'll take a breath or so here. And then when you're ready to come out, grab that invisible rope. Pulling back up. We'll drop the arms, bend that knee, step the feet together. And shake it out. Awesome sauce. All right, what did I say next? Pyramid pose. All right, lots of options with our pyramid, mostly with the hands. So you can just keep the hands in front. You can do hands on the hips. You can do reverse prayer where the hands come together behind the back. Or you can do the arms in front, like a forward fold. So I'm going to do the arms forward, like a forward fold. All right, so the idea with the feet for pyramid pose is, and again, I say the idea, you can do whatever works for you, is that the knees are straight and that there's an invisible center line on your mat and the feet are on either side of that line. However, it's not very stable, right? And that's part of the point, is kind of for looks. The name pyramid comes from looking sideways. So we're making this pyramid shape, and also hieroglyphics wise, the ancient Egyptians, that's how they were drawing people. I'm not making that up. That's what they were doing. Okay, so here's your options for the feet. So instead of being in this like next to each other line, bring them out a little bit wider. That's going to give you more stable of a base. And then from here you can decide, well, that's kind of close. I want it further. That's too far, bring it back. So those are the options with the feet. All right, we're gonna do 3 times each side, and I'm gonna do the arms like that. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna inhale, hinging at that hip socket again, exhale, fold forward. If this is as far as you go, that's fine, just hold on to the front of the legs, or if you're coming all the way down. So we're getting a nice hamstring stretch here. And then inhale, come back up. And then exhale, bring the arms back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. And last time, exhale. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, arms down. All right, bend the knees, bring the feet back together, shake it out. And if you have a tight IT band, that probably stretched it a little bit. Maybe? Yeah. Okay, so if it was too much of a stretch, don't go as far down would be the key. All right, so other foot in front. And again, they can be wider on your mat this way, wider this way, or closer together, whatever feels good. Okay, so we're hinging at the hips again, and you can switch your hands if you didn't like doing what you did the first time. All right, here we go. So we're going to inhale, exhale, fold forward. We're hinging at that hip joint. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, arms down. All right, 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, arms down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, done. Nice. All right, bend the knee, step the feet together, shake it out. All right, so we're gonna go back to a, that was more of a stretch pose. And then a high lunge is more of a strengthening pose. All right, so I'm gonna do it easy this time. And step forward into the lunge, raise the arms. Feet are gonna stay where they're at, and then we're just gonna do the arms up and down with the breathing. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna step forward. That back foot, you can be on the toes or have that heel down, depending on your balance today, which it changes. So no worries. All right, here we go. So we're gonna inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Feet can stay where they are. I'll do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. All right, you can step the back foot forward or step the front foot back. And let's do the other side. Again, you can be up on the toes or have that heel down. 3 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. All right. Step the feet back together. Shake it out. And let's do a little moving balance, although we kind of have been as we're going. So let's do our palm tree pose, and we're just going to do straight up, arms up on the toes. All right, ready? Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Oops. All right, one more. Excellent. All right, let's do some Karate Kid flying crane, and let's do 3 versions. All right, we're not going to do the hot one. We're not going to do the marching one. It's too hot. We'll do original, opposite, and then mountain climbers. All right. Original, hands in the center. We're gonna lift one knee up, hands go out to the side, and then exhale back. And then second side, and back. Nice and slow, or at your own pace. I'm blaming my bad balance on the weather and my crazy hair and all this sweating. That too. And the wind and the pollen. Awesome. All right, one more time each side, and don't fall over. Excellent. All right, opposite is next. So arms start out at the sides. We're gonna lift one knee up, touch it with the opposite hand, and then back down. Excellent. One more time each side. Nice. All right. Next one is mountain climbers. Crawling, more likely. All right, so that's opposite knee, opposite arm goes up, like this, and then like this, but not quite like that, without the falling over part. like I can't edit in real life. Make it look like I'm doing it perfectly every single time. Real life here. But that's actually how you recover, is getting off balance and then being able to come back to regular balance. Awesome sauce. All right, one more time each side. Nice. All right, so we're gonna do our wide-legged series, the pinwheels, rainbow pose, and half sun. So I'm gonna flip my mat sideways. And you have two options. Oops, gotta go this way. All right, so you can go the narrow width of your mat, or you can go wide. Like that. All right, so here we go. Start with wide legs, as wide as comfortable. And then arms out to the side. We're gonna take one hand and cross over to the other leg wherever you're reaching. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bend and twist. Excellent. One more time, each side. And we'll drop the arms, take a break, step the legs back together, shake it out. And then rainbow pose next. So if you have something like a block and you want to use that, or a rolled up towel or whatever, you can do that, or even a chair, or just dangle in the air. Whatever works is fine. All right, so again, you can have feet narrow width or with the mat, and then we're gonna take an inhale. On the exhale, we're hinging at those hip joints, fold forward, arms come down in front. And then we're gonna take an inhale and bring one arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, second side. Exhale, down. A little softness in the knees if you need. Inhale, first side. Exhale, back, second side. Inhale. Exhale, back. And one more time each side. Inhale. And exhale. And last time. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Bend the knees. Hands come to the hips. We're going to inhale, coming up with a straight spine. Nice. And then you can heel to or hop, if that's okay with your knees. And then shake it out. I know this hair. All right, last one is our half sun salutation, and we're going to take it nice and slow. If you have any back issues, I'm going to suggest arms out. When we do all of our folding and stuff, I'm going to do straight arms. So your choice, or you can just keep your hands at your heart and just go folding that way. All right, so here we go. So we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're hinging at those hip joints, fold forward, soften the knees as you come down. Inhale, halfway up. Hands can come to the front of the legs. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come to the hips. Push the feet in. Inhale. Coming up with that straight spine. You can bring the arms all the way up. And then exhale down. All right, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, coming up. And then exhale, arms down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, done. Nice. All right. Hop or heel toe or step. Feet back together, shake it out. And then, it's too hot to do chair poses, isn't it? Yeah, okay. If it's cold at your house at home, if you're in the basement, you can do chair pose. We're gonna skip it. Let's do cowboy. So, horse and star. Getting out of order, so it's okay. All right. Yeah, if anybody needs a water break, go ahead and do that. So let's start with star. So the feet are turning out this time, and we're going to open the arms out. Fingers are open, soften the knees a little bit. This is our inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees, bend the elbows, and if you want, you can bend the wrist. Excellent. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down. Excellent. Inhale up and exhale down. And oh, you know what? Even though we're not doing chair, we are going to have a little fun. We're going to do a twist here. So we're going to take opposite hand to opposite knee, and then the other hand can come around the back. And then back up to star. And then we'll exhale and then down to a twist. And then inhale back up to star. One last horse. Beautiful. Inhale, one last star. Exhale and release. All right. That felt awesome, right? Much better than chair. All right, let's do a tree pose, and then we are going to come down to the floor. All right, so for tree pose, if you have a chair, you're welcome to use it. Starting with kickstand or tripod feet. Check in with this hip, nice strong straight leg on the foot that's touching the floor all the way. Hands at the heart. This hip is open. And then we're going to grow our branches. If you have your balance today, which I sort of really don't, you bring your foot up higher. I'm going to keep it down so we don't have to go get medical help. All right, so arms can be straight. Oh, don't forget to breathe. So we can do power pose with the fingers. We can do a Y, do a T, move the arms, whatever you like. Excellent. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to come out nice and gracefully, shake it out. And then going to the other side, root that foot down, check in with that hip, heel above the ankle, hands at the heart, breathe. And then whatever you like to do with the arms, you can do power pose, Y, T, moving, do hands on the hips, hands at the heart. So many options. Whenever I have to say, if you have your balance, you can bring your foot up higher. Excellent. And then coming out nice and gracefully. Excellent. All right. If you want to come down to a squat, you're welcome to do that before we come down to seated. If you don't want to, no points taken off. Today. Next time, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Wasn't sure if I had anybody else just sitting here. All right, and then coming gracefully down onto the floor. And let's do, let's see. Let's do our open and close twist. So we're going to start with one knee bent. The other leg is extended. We're going to extend that same arm over that leg. On the inhale, lift, feel that whole extension of the spine up with that arm. And then on the exhale, in front of or behind that bent knee. And then the hand can come behind to push the spine up. Turning towards the back wall, that's an exhale. Excellent, and then we're going to unwind. Open twist, gaze follows the thumb. Inhale, open. And then on your next exhale, bring that arm back. All right, we're switching arms and legs. Extending that other arm out over that leg. Inhale, lift that arm up, feel the whole spine extend with that arm. On the exhale, in front of or behind that bent knee. Hand comes behind the spine. And then on the exhale, turning and looking towards that back wall. Excellent, unwind. Arm over the leg again, gaze follows the thumb. Inhale, open twist. Excellent, and then bring it on back. Awesome. All right, let's do, we're gonna do it in reverse order, just for fun. So if you want, you can sit cross-legged or with your legs straight out, whatever's more comfortable. And we're going to start with the twist. So inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, turning to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. And then just back and forth between the two. You can stop and move with the breath, or you can go back and forth. Excellent. All right, one more time each side, or finish off evenly. Back to center, and then let's do our laterals next. We're going to bring one hand down to the mat. Inhale. And you might find that you're going way further over than you did when we started class. But keeping that hand on the mat keeps that opposite knee from popping up. Excellent. Let's do one more time each side. Nice. And then let's finish this with our cat and cow. So if your legs are crossed, hands under the knees. If the legs are out straight, hands under the thighs. We're going to exhale back to cat. Inhale, cow. Excellent, and then back to center. Just for fun, we're gonna come, let's see. Do you want to do it on hands and knees or on the belly? Belly, okay.
What are we doing?
Exactly, should have asked that first. All right, so come over onto the belly. Somebody's thinking, right? All right, we're gonna start with Sphinx pose. I'm actually just gonna go like this. All right, so elbows are under the shoulders. And Sphinx pose looks like this. So we're gonna inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna look towards the first side. Inhale, center, exhale, second side. Inhale, center, exhale, back to the first side. Inhale, center, exhale, second side. Nice. Inhale, center. One more time each side. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale to the second side. Nice. Back to center, and then we're going to come to alligator pose. So elbows come out to the side, hands stack in front, and then we're going to rest the forehead on the hands. Excellent. All right, next is baby cobra. So hands go under the shoulders. And we're lifting from the back of the neck. So tucking the chin, forehead faces the floor. On the inhale, we're not using the hands. We're gonna lift from the back of the neck, keeping the chin tucked till you get to the top, and then we're gonna slowly look forward a couple feet on the floor. Exhale, tuck the chin, and then release the head back down to the floor. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift from the back of the neck. Looking forward. Exhale, tuck the chin, and then bring the forehead back to the floor. One more time. Inhale, lifting from the back of the neck. Tilt the chin forward. Exhale, tilt the chin back, and then exhale, forehead to the floor. We're gonna alligator pose, bring the hands back under the forehead. Excellent. All right, the one you've been waiting for, we're gonna do bow pose. So let's start, so you can keep the forehead down. I'm just lifting my own up so you can hear me. So we're gonna start by bending the knees, and we can do one at a time, like we're trying to kick the butt. If you have tight quads, this is gonna be, this is a nice relaxing way to kind of loosen them up a little bit first before we really stretch them. All right, so release that. We're gonna keep one foot bent. We're gonna take that, so I have my right foot, or my right knee bent. I'm gonna take my right arm, bring it forward, and then back and around, and see if I can grab my foot or my ankle. If you can't, just extend the arm back. That's okay if you can't reach it. If you're practicing at home, you could do a strap, but don't overdo it if you have any knee issues. All right. So gently bringing the foot back towards the torso as much as you can without it hurting. We're not here for pain. Release that side, bring that arm back up. We're gonna bend the other knee. Extend that same arm forward, around, and then grabbing that foot or ankle. And again, you can keep the head down. And the other option that might get you a little bit more space is rolling the shoulder open. So instead of the shoulder towards the floor, you're gonna bring it up. And that's gonna give you a little bit more space in the length of the arm. All right, so we're gonna gently bring that foot as close to the torso as it'll go, without pain. Super important. Excellent. All right, release that side. And so you can just rest here, or if you're in the super achiever group and you want to try both legs, the key is to do one at a time. You're not going to be able to reach both at the same. So grab the one, grab the other. And then what makes this bow pose is pushing the feet into the hands coming up on the belly, which you probably can't see from straight on. If you have knee issues, I'm going to suggest you don't do this. All right, and then coming out, release. Release the arms, one last alligator pose. Excellent. All right, so we're going to come up for a quick hands and knees. We're going to do cat-cow child's pose. If you want to just come into child's pose, you are welcome to do that. Otherwise, this is what we're doing. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat, down to child's pose. Inhale, back up to cow. Or stay in the child's pose. Exhale, cat, down to child's. Do 2 more. Cow, exhale, cat, down to child's. And one more time through. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat, down to child's. Nice. From here, we'll find our way back onto the spine. So whatever caterpillar business you got to do to get there. Feet come to the top of the mat, hands on the knees, and we're going to roll back onto the flat. You can make noise, that's fine. Nobody's listening. All right, so let's start. We're going to do Apanasana first. Whatever style you like, if you like regular, wide leg, or single leg. We just want to make sure that we get that spine back to symmetrical. Did some fun, weird poses today, so it's nice to get the back to regular. Excellent. Okay, feet come down. Let's do our crescent pose next, because it's awesome. It should feel great with all the other stuff we did today. All right, so extend both legs all the way straight out. Inhale, arms overhead, and then we're going to walk both legs over towards the left and walk both arms over towards the left. So if you're looking down from above, we're making kind of a crescent shape, or some people like banana asana. And then from here, if you want to make it more of a stretch on that side body, you can cross the right ankle over the left and grab that right wrist with the left hand. If it's too much in that shoulder, undo the grabbing. And then let's take 3 breaths here. So we're going to breathe into the rib cage. So inhale, right rib cage. Exhale. Second breath from the shoulder to the hip. Inhale from that right shoulder to the right hip. Exhale, hip to shoulder. Last one on this side. Inhale, right fingertips, all the way down to those right toes. Exhale, toes to fingers. Excellent. So we're going to uncross, ungrab, come back to center, give it a nice good morning stretch. Fingertips and heels away from the center of the body. And then walking over towards the right with the feet and the arms. And then again, if you want to make it a little bit more of a challenge, cross that left ankle over the right and grab that left wrist with the right hand. 3 breaths on this side. Ready? Here we go. Into that left rib cage. Inhale and exhale. Shoulder to hip. Inhale, left shoulder to left hip. Exhale, hip to shoulder. One last breath here. Fingertips to toes. Inhale, fingers to toes. Exhale, toes to fingers. Excellent. We're going to uncross and ungrab, extend, walk it back to center. Do another Good morning stretch, heels and fingertips extending out. And then we're going to bring the arms back down by your sides. Let's do this one. So we're going to bring both knees back into the chest. On the exhale, on the inhale, arms overhead, feet up towards the ceiling, point and flex the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. One more. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. So we're going to rock side to side if that's comfortable. Excellent. And then we're going to bring both feet down to the mat and then step the feet out just a little bit. And then let's do some windshield wipers with the knees side to side. Excellent. Knees back to center. From here, let's do one more round of Apanasana. Knees come in, knees go out. You can do wide-legged here or one of the other styles. And then option here to do a little bit of core work. So bringing the knees closer together, but not touching. Shins are parallel to the floor, and we're going to extend the feet away from the torso. That's on the inhale. On the exhale, knees come back in towards the chest. So it's essentially a version of Apanasana, but we're extending the legs beyond the body, and that's where that core strength has to come in to be able to move the legs out like that. One more. And then let's do 2 or 3 more Apanasana, just regular, without the extension. Nice. And then feet come down to the mat. Option to keep the knees bent or extend the legs out. We're going to finish off with our palm tree pose arms. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms back down by your sides. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. Finish the one you're on and do 2 more. And then getting ready for our final relaxation pose. I'm going to sit up so you can hear me better. And getting comfortable here, releasing the legs and the feet away from each other. Arms down by the body and then out to the sides if that's comfortable. Palms up or palms down. Getting any last little wiggles out, maybe tucking the shoulder blades under. And let's do the joints today. So we're gonna relax and make the feet, working our way up. Relax and make space in the toes. Relax and make space in the ankles. Relax and make space in the knees and in the space behind the knees. Relax and make space in the hip joints. Relax and make space in the spine from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. Relax and make space in the rib cage. Relax and make space in the shoulders. Relax and make space in the elbows and wrists. Relax and make space in the fingers and hands. Relax and make space in the throat and the back of the neck. Relax and make space in the jaw. Relax and make space in the top of the head. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the Earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And to bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way, let's finish with sun breath number 2. All right, that's this one, arms out in front. Inhale, open, exhale, closed. 3 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Palms together, hands to the heart, and namaste. Thanks, guys. One breath for stress, if you want. Taking your right finger, closing off your right nostril, breathe in and out your left nostril. Mouth closed. So it's activating sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. So if you want to reduce stress, in and out the nose on the left side. If you want to activate for sports or whatever, then do the right side. All right. And then that's why we do alternate nostril breathing, because we alternate and then we're doing both sides to balance it. But if you're stressed, do the left.